Hi there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Cynthia, and I'm here to do a reading in large part because I really wanted to show off 2 new altar tools that I've invested in for myself, and I'm so excited. I'm already dreaming everything that I'm going to do with this beautiful black amethyst portal that I invested in for myself for my scrying work. And I also just want to show off this gorgeous little incense burner. Isn't this beautiful? This beautiful little, I think it's called a Suwani dragon. Like a lion dragon who likes fire and smoke. So I guess they're often portrayed on burnable temple type artwork. So I just love him. I've been needing a charcoal incense burner for a long time, and so I spent to invest in a beautiful one because it was going to be a piece on my altar. I love to invest in my altar, and if you're a witching-minded person, you know what I mean. And when you're kind of starting out on this pathway of the Hedge Witch, it can feel a little overwhelming to start building an altar. At least I felt that way when I started out. This has been about 15 years ago now that I started consciously making an altar for myself that I maintained. And there are certain things that you like to have on an altar, and it takes a while to assemble those things. And I'm very proud of mine. I don't often show it off, but this is this piece of black amethyst portal. So if you know anything about hedge witchery and folk magic in the Western and Eastern European traditions and Nordic regions, there are traditions around seeing and sight through portal hole, and maybe in other traditions as well. This is the one I'm trained in, where you can do divination work and gazing work either into the hole of a skeleton key, like where you hold the key up and gaze through it, often seated in a hedgerow is a good place to do this kind of gazing and divination work. But it's just like mirror gazing, it's scrying. It's the same kind of concept. You can do that with a key, or often what's a really coveted piece to work with is what's called a hagstone. And for folks that are not necessarily a part of that world, a hagstone is like a rock that's been worn through so that it has a hole that's usually it's been formed by water. And you can use those as well as a gazing and divination tool out in nature preferably, but anywhere. You can use those anywhere to do divination gazing work, just like gazing into a mirror or into a candle. And when I saw, there's a story behind how I came to this black amethyst portal, but it involves the last several weeks and a little bit of concern because I didn't know if I really could afford to buy this. This is a big investment for me, a piece of black amethyst of this size and desirability with this portal and color and all that. It was a big investment, and now it just came today and I'm so excited, and so I couldn't wait anymore. I wanted to do a layout to show off 2 of my altar pieces, and also to invite you to talk about what you might have or like to keep on your altar. And so I'm going to be doing readings with this. I don't know, I wanted to try to show it off here, but the candle isn't, I don't know how much it's going to pick up. So it's very galaxy-like. It's an incredible portal. I don't know if you can see. Let me grab like a feather or something that I can show you. So can you see that okay? Like here's the portal itself. And so you can gaze into this portal and use it like I'm going to be using and continue to be using my Obsidian Mirror to do scrying work for the channel. This is brand new to me, so I'm not going to go right into it. I'm going to do some of my own private work with it first, just to kind of start building my relationship with it. But it also has, not only is it this beautiful portal, black amethyst crystal, like a druzy cluster of black amethyst galaxy type crystal. It looks just like the heavens, right? Then there's this calcite deposit in here. It's just, I'm in awe of it and in love, and I can't wait to start working with it. So let's see here. Let me put these things down now and pull some cards for us. And I had set the intention in pulling these cards that I wanted to do just the energy capturing up until the solar eclipse in Libra coming up now. We're right in eclipse season, so this will just be to capture the eclipse energy. It'll be a point in time for this point in time specifically. What should this collective know about eclipse season right now? I'm still learning how this little burner likes to operate. I'm new to having a charcoal burner. I've always just used this little frying pan, which isn't very efficient. And I've got some copal burning here and some juniper berry, and it smells amazing. And I love the little spirit of this dragon. It's really beautiful. It's from a maker named Kin Objects in California. All right, so a point in time reading for us for the eclipse energy right now, moving into the full moon, or I'm sorry, the lunar eclipse in Libra on the 2nd, I think, October 2nd. So coming right up. It's just some good energy messages for this. Maybe that eclipse day will be my first gaze into that galaxy portal crystal cluster. I just cannot wait. I'm so excited. So excited to work with it. Oops, jeez. All right. Oh, and this is my Crowley deck. I haven't worked with it in a while either. And I learned tarot on this deck. And another funny thing, just I feel in a storytelling mood, I guess, but another funny thing about this deck until now, all the years that I've worked with this deck, I never shuffled it like this, or even the tarot way. I always laid them out and mixed them like this. For some reason, I always did that with this deck. It felt like I was breaking a major tradition with it when I pulled it back out, because it was in storage for a while. And I pulled it back out after a few years of not having worked with it, and I started shuffling, and it felt really weird at first because I was so used to that old way. I have no idea why I did that. I just did. It was a precedent that I set with this deck that I didn't really break with for years. Solar eclipse and Libra energy, and any energies that are in play here from between the lunar eclipse and Pisces, and now carrying us through now until the solar eclipse. What's important for us to know? What's coming up for us? What does the collective need to know? Hope you all had a nice fall equinox. We're having beautiful weather right now. I went on a nice long walk today to enjoy it. Wow. Holy cow. Man, oh man, whoever's reading this is really stoked. Congratulations. This is a really great eclipse season for you. And eclipse seasons are often like roller coasters. So this may be the case for you. This might have that kind of impact, but it's all very positive. Any tense or stressed out cards in here are so minor compared to the really exciting things happening. So you've been in great energy, which is probably why this is now coming to be this way for you. Because just ahead of this current point in time, which is right here, we're going to get a lot of future cards in this linear layout of a point in time. Just ahead of this energy, you were already in an Empress energy. So you've been in a reposed, receptive, very regal, very divine feminine energy, ready to receive everything coming to you. That's what was happening just ahead of this moment. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that it's so great. But often it's a lot of like, hang on to your butts, like during eclipse season, right? So this is looking very positive for you. This eclipse must be bringing in really needed things. It's showing that it is. Because now here we are, and right in the immediate future is, boom, 2 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. So joyous, loving, unified connections with loved ones. Usually romantic love for me as a reader is the 2 of Cups, although it can come up for really close soul bonds like friendships as well. Collaborative, loving, joyful relationships and wealth and abundance are coming in for you. And I set the intention that this is now, between now and October 2nd. So this is very exciting for you. Go ahead and do some cartwheels because it's really cool. It's very positive. So the 10 of Pentacles, so some kind of an abundant, riches, joyful, loving, collaborative new beginnings. Right beyond that 10 of Pentacles is the High Priestess. So you might be somebody who is a hedge witch, right? As we were talking about altar tools, this reading might very much be your vibe. Talking about altars, talking about sacred smoke, talking about point in time, eclipse, this is your thing. You might not be a casual tarot listener, but you might be somebody who very much lives in this world. And it's bringing you into some kind of a harmony with this world that's going to be really fun. There's coming up on some really fun, lively, flirtatious, loving connections, abundant wealth relationship between you and a Hierophant. So, dude, a High Priestess coming together joyfully and playfully and with dollar signs with a Hierophant. This is really like a fated. The eclipse is bringing you two together is what this is showing. And you're both incredibly powerful. You're a High Priest. This is a Hierophant. There's going to be light, fiery banter, exchange, flirtation. Nothing serious. This isn't mean fighting, but it can be a little bit of that like, flirt fighting, right? Like where there's fire, right? That good kind of exciting, electric, erotic kind of fighting, right? Between two really powerful beings. And there's some balance coming in for both of you as a result of that. It's a reharmonizing of both your lives into something that's far more peaceful, far more collaborative, far more creative for both of you. You're going to have to surrender and be still at times, and it's going to be hard because you're both going to be very happy and lit up and creative, but you're still going to have to face the mundane aspects of this life, which can involve times of surrender and which can involve times of stillness. What's happening is that something's about to pop off here for you where you're going to be charging through into all these breakthroughs with this person who's on your level, someone who's meant for you, someone who's on your level, someone who's all about all of this and is like, yeah, I'm right there with you. And boom, 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 you can joke with me, I can come back just as good, right? Like really fun, fiery, playful, powerful, very alchemized, very collaborative and creative. These little 10 of Swords and stillness periods are nothing compared to the power of the relationship and what it's going to bring into your lives. But there are still going to be little down periods, and it might be hard for both of you to cope with them because there is so much abundant joy, love, 9 of Cups, my God, 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, 3 of Wands, the Hierophant, the High Priestess, right? It's like fate moving, turning, everything you've dreamed. It's like all of a sudden it's coming into being. So it's very exciting. What else should you know about this? What else is there? What's your advice? I guess maybe that's what I'll ask, because it really probably nothing. Just get ready to be stoked, pretty much. I just zeroed right in on this key here. And this is a Holy Trinity key that this Hierophant is holding, but it's showing me also why I zeroed in on it, and it's right in the center, is there's some sort of gazing involved here. So you might be somebody that scries. There's gazing involved. Like, you're both into esoteric. Well, I guess that's what it is, duh. You're both into esotericism, because if you're a high priest and you're about to connect with this Hierophant, your skills are, I think, going to amplify. I think that's what's being shown here, is that both of your clair senses are going to magnify, because you're going to be coming into a union together, right? So it's going to empower both of you. This time of not getting anywhere is ending with this eclipse energy. It's a completion of that. What's some advice for you? This is so exciting. My God. I'm in love with this layout. Even the cards that have tension in them are not really, I mean, they're not even negative. There's just times where you're going to have to not be the ones in charge. And for powerful people like the two of you, that might be hard. So maybe that is a little bit of like, get ready for times like that where, you know, you can't believe your own hype and start thinking you're gods or whatever. That's some Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow shit right there. You don't want to start thinking like that. What's this? There's just going to be a calming downtime, and I think it's because there's been some other parties involved here. So there's going to be a period of surrender and blockages, possibly because of these old relationships, but it's nothing to get too down and out about, because right beyond it is, again, the Nine of Cups, which is happiness. So it's just going to be a little temporary stall. It might happen here. So there's a lot happening in this. There's a lot of rushing and moving. There's a revealed stagnant or block that gets removed. A lot happening between now and the 2nd. And really a lunar, or any eclipse, but the solar eclipse will go on beyond the day that it's actually happening, right? The energy is still in play for, you know, even a week really with an eclipse, beyond it. So this time frame we're looking at here is like, you know, 2 weeks max, I would say, for all of this stuff to kind of unfold. There's going to be some obstacles, some other parties that have an interest or a frustration with the fact that this is happening. But what's important is that they are not a high priest and a Hierophant. You and this person, your person, they're not, you know, it's just not, they're not playing in your league, so don't worry about it. It's just going to be an annoyance and cause a period of stillness, and maybe to really close the book finally. There might be still some unfinished, even though things are racing forward with you and this person, there's still some loose ends to tie up. It's kind of like that energy. It's okay, but it might burst the bubble at times that you're going to find yourself in with this person. What's some advice for you? What is some advice for you other than just be excited for what's coming in your life? What's some good advice for you with this whole thing? You're right at the threshold with this Two of Wands. You're standing at the threshold of this. And the Three of Wands is just beyond the present moment. Really cool. Stand your ground on the things that are important to you in the relationship. Enjoy. Indulge your pleasure. The pleasure card in the Crowley deck is everything you imagine. So it's a union, it's a coming together, and it's enjoying. Indulge the pleasure of the union. Get busy. Get a room, right? Literally, like enjoy. Let yourselves enjoy this pleasure of coming together. It's harmonized. It's going to tap into deeper stuff, like faded type feelings for both of you. It's meant to be enjoyed. But the standing your ground is also about, you can stand your ground with each other because there's now some trust in place, is kind of what I'm sensing. With this Five of Wands, any kind of tension is going to have playfulness woven into it. And so you're both going to be respecting each other's ground and standing of it, right? While you're enjoying this pleasurable coming together. Very pleasurable, very erotic in the Crowley deck. The Four of Cups, you're going to have to watch out not to stagnate or luxuriate too long in the indulgence, though. So watch out for that. Because again, you're two very powerful people. So you're both going to maybe be vulnerable about getting a little bit too big of heads, either as a couple or with each other even. And so just watch out for that. That's the warning here about maybe even some of this Ten of Swords. Yeah, it's not going to be the time for some stuff is what it's saying. There's going to be some coming together and working together, but there's also going to be a time and a place for some of it. Like it might not all happen at once. Like there might be an initial like coming together and coming to some understandings and then a delay because of some other people involved, right? Things like that are minor frustrations. That's the big takeaway. Lots of change and excitement and fire, which is what I'm sensing you want. This is really positive. What else? What other cards here? Let's pull from the woodland creatures. What's the energy of this coming together? What's the energy? What's going to be important to know about this coming together? How positive, how joyful and abundant. Very abundant, grounded in the 3D. It's real. It's not just a daydream. It's really happening. It's a really beautiful collaborative connection. Everything fits. Everything just clicks right into place. It feels like, where's this been all my life kind of thing. What else to know about this harmonized relationship? Card 15. The deer and the oat. So oats are very, very soothing, and deer and stag energy is very divine masculine. So I think that, what are the other cards here? The Cayman and Poppy, which is very dreamlike, which speaks to that Four of Cups energy, that there's going to be a little bit of vulnerability of deception here, especially with these other parties on the periphery, and dreamlike bursting of the bubble at times. So don't fall into illusions with one another. You've got to still be aware of navigating some challenges. You're both way bigger than the challenges, so that's important to keep in mind. But watch out for any illusion or believing your own hype. Allow yourself the soothing, nourishing enjoyment of this masculine energy coming together with this feminine, this Empress and Divine Feminine. Allow yourself to enjoy it. The stag is very... In fact, it's kind of cool that the stag showed up here when we just came through this equinox. It seems like a little bit of nod that it's in harmony with the cycles that this is happening as well. The mouse and the buttercup. So this is that kind of childhood smallness Six of Cups. So while it's important to indulge the pleasure of the Six of Cups represented by the Crowley deck, it's also important to acknowledge the vulnerable side of this card, which is like inner child vulnerability. And you can have incredible sex when there's that level of trust where your inner children trust one another, for example, right? But it's important not to lose sight of the fact that while this can be very erotic and pleasurable, there's also a need for tenderness and gentleness with each other's inner children. There's a little vulnerability here about illusion. And then one last thing, the possum and the peony. I've never pulled this card, so I am going to read the book for this card. XXVII. Like my Roman numeral talk there. Bashfulness. To play possum is to remain quiet and still when faced with danger. The expression comes from the possum's unique reaction to fear. It keels over and pretends to be dead. This is an instinctual response to, and an effective one. Spotting what appears to be a dead possum, predators will often lose interest. Similarly, the beautiful peony flower is associated with bashfulness. According to Greek mythology, nymphs who wish to hide from mortal eyes would disguise themselves as peonies. You may wish to hide away from the world. While periods of solitude are necessary and healthful, be sure your retreat isn't driven by fear. So that's that little bit of warning in here about if you're forced to stop or pause and we retreat from one another because of outside forces, it's okay. Just stay cool, calm, and collected. But also what I'm sensing is that it's going to be great for you as a couple to retreat from the world and really indulge and enjoy the pleasure of coming together with one another. So happy eclipse season. It's really beautiful, and stay tuned on the Obsidian Mirror podcast for my first galaxy portal scrying with that black amethyst portal. I cannot wait to get acquainted with it and to start learning how to work with it. And once again, my foot fell asleep. I need to get a poof, like a kilim poof. I found some on Etsy, like a poof that you might find like in Marrakesh, something that makes it easier to sit on the floor here. All right, thank you. See you in the next one.